Are you preparing for the biggest game of your managerial career in 1100 games?
I've had a lot of big games, so it's another big one, and really looking forward to it.
Can I just...
La domanda era, ti stai preparando alla partita più importante per il West Ham? E la risposta, ne ho avuti tanti di queste partite importanti e sicuramente farò del mio meglio.
Can I just ask David, what do you make of the Fiorentina coach admitting that he'd be looking to resort to tactical fouls to stop West Ham on the break on Wednesday night? It's not a new tactic, but it's a big admission to make on the eve of a final.
I've got no real opinion on it. That would be down to the referees to sort that out, and not for us to have a huge opinion on it. We'll try and play a fair game, and hopefully, that's always, from my point of view, the best way to do it.
Cosa ne pensi della dichiarazione di Vincenzo Italiano che penserà di fare falli tattici contro West Ham per fermare il loro gioco? Lascerò questo ovviamente alla conduzione di gara dell'arbitro, ma noi giocheremo un gioco pulito e ci concentreremo alla vittoria.
David, good morning.
Morning.
You stand to do something incredible for West Ham United and the club, and I know it's not a personal thing, but from a Scottish point of view, you have an opportunity to join some incredible names: Steen, Shankly, Busby, these guys.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be mentioned in the same breath? What do these guys mean to you in terms of what they've done in the game, and what would it be like to join that list?
Yeah. Well, it'd be hugely important for myself personally because my home's in Scotland. That's where I was brought up, and I think the names you mentioned were names which were round Europe at a different era, when Scotland had a host of top managers and managers competing in the best leagues and competing for European competitions. So I've been told about it. Obviously, I think Sir Alex was the last one to win as a Scottish manager, but not only that, but as a British manager as well. So it would be a big thrill for me if I could get my name alongside theirs. But obviously, many of them are greats in football, and not just at their own club, but throughout the world. Their names are known wherever people go.
Cosa vorrebbe dire per te, David, essere associato a nomi grandissimi del calcio scozzese? Se dovessi riuscire appunto ad arrivare in finale, a vincere la finale, cosa vorrebbe dire questo? Sicuramente sarebbe una cosa fantastica per me a livello personale anche, di essere associato a questi nomi grandi del calcio scozzese. L'ultimo ovviamente a Sir Alex Ferguson che ha vinto tantissimo, quindi insomma farò del mio meglio. Comunque sarà una partita molto difficile, quindi siamo concentrati su questo.
Nick?
David, when you look back at your two spells at West Ham and you kind of assess the journey that you've been on with the club, how do you reflect on the astonishing changes from when you were first at the club and when you came back to where you are now?
I'm not sure if you'd have told Andy that in the period we'd have finished 6th and 7th in the Premier League. We'd have got to a semi-final of a European competition, and then the year after you'd have got to a final of a European competition. I think if you'd said that to people before I came in, I think they'd have said, no, that's not true. So in a way, I think there's a lot of really good things going on. I think we've given lots of the West Ham supporters, West Ham club, lots of really good times, and long may it continue. We want to try and keep it going. We want to grow it. We want to keep these sort of moments happening. And I think to be in a cup final is special, certainly for West Ham, who it's been a while since we've been there.
Come giudichi le tue due esperienze alla West Ham precedentemente, poi ultimamente adesso? Appunto tante cose sono cambiate. Sicuramente se avessi chiesto a qualcuno ti avrebbero detto che sarei arrivato alla finale quest'anno dopo aver passato anche l'anno scorso, arrivato ancora in competizioni europee a livello importante, non ti avrebbero creduto. Quindi siamo veramente super contenti, abbiamo fatto benissimo e ci concentreremo al massimo per vincere questa partita.
Yeah.
David, hi, how are you?
Hi.
I don't know if you saw the game the other night, the Europa League final. Just a couple of things off that. First of all, extra time. I don't know whether or not you think nowadays finals should have extra time. Yours will obviously have extra time, but whether or not, having seen what we saw the other night, extra time is becoming outdated. And secondly, off the back of Anthony Taylor being abused as he came home yesterday following the final, how much spotlight do you think there is now on the managers in finals before and afterwards towards the officials?
Well, I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment on the game itself or the officiating itself. But I just think that all referees have a really difficult job, and shouldn't be put through any situations which I heard this morning, and that's not correct.
Non so se hai visto la finale di Europa League l'altra sera della Roma, e cosa ne pensi prima di tutto del fatto dei tempi supplementari, dei tempi supplementari, e anche del fatto che l'arbitro è stato trattato davvero male. La partita non l'ho vista, quindi non posso commentare più di tanto, però sicuramente gli arbitri hanno un lavoro veramente duro e non devono ricevere, diciamo, questi abusi come è stato fatto in quella partita. Sono completamente contrario.
Jacob?
There's been some noise this week about Michail Antonio's comments about Gianluca Scamacca. He said he's a quality player, but he wasn't sure if he's suited to playing your style of football. Have you needed to address those comments with either of the players, and do you see it as unhelpful in the lead up to a final for it to be discussed?
I think that I've got no issues with Gianluca. Gianluca's a terrific player, really good footballer, someone who we really like, but unfortunately he's been hit with injuries for periods of this season. Mickey has his own opinions, but we're not getting into that.
Se hai dei commenti sul fatto che Michail Antonio ha commentato l'altro giorno dicendo che Scamacca è un ottimo giocatore, però magari non è adatto al gioco del West Ham. No, non credo sia un problema. Io sono assolutamente felice di Scamacca, è un ottimo giocatore, purtroppo è stato ha avuto molti infortuni, quindi non ha potuto giocare tanto, però sono assolutamente felice di lui, e insomma Antonio può avere le sue opinioni, ma non credo sia un problema.
Good morning, Mr. Moyes.
Hello.
Yeah. This is not the first time you meet Fiorentina, because in 2008 with Everton it was really a good fight. What memories do you have about those two matches?
Obviously we lose 2-0 in Fiorentina and we win 2-0 at Goodison, and it goes to penalty kicks, so I can remember it to a level. But I got a message yesterday from a friend who said it was, I believed it was Mikel Arteta who missed the penalty, but they tell me Mikel was the player of the match and was the best player in the game. But it was Phil Jagielka and Yakubu who missed the penalty kicks on the night. So it was a great opportunity, because I think Rangers beat Fiorentina then in the semi-final, and one of my good friends was Walter Smith, the manager of Rangers, who unfortunately died not too recently, and who went on to play in the final, and it was in Manchester at Manchester City Stadium. So it would have been a great achievement if we got to the final, but it was a good game against Fiorentina. Both games were tight, and unfortunately it happens in football that sometimes it goes to penalty kicks, and that's the way it goes. So hopefully that doesn't happen this way and it goes our way this time.
Sì, non è la prima volta che avete incontrato la Fiorentina. Quando lei era allenatore dell'Everton nel 2008 avete appunto incontrato 2 volte la Fiorentina. Che ricordi ha di quei giochi, di quelle partite? Sono state partite molto, molto dure, ottima performance da parte di entrambe le squadre. Non abbiamo vinto, ovviamente la partita è finita ai rigori, e insomma è sempre difficile arrivare ai rigori. Speriamo che questo non sarà l'epilogo di questa finale. Speriamo che insomma, sarà una partita bellissima da vedere.
Hello. David, yesterday Vincenzo Italiano said that you could be more arrived at the final in a different situation because you didn't play for 10 days. Fiorentina is playing tonight.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you to comment this thing. If you think that not playing it's an advantage for West Ham, or maybe the Fiorentina that will arrive 5 days after playing a game, it's advantaged.
I don't think there's one reason to say that one is better than the other. But what I do think is that Fiorentina have such a big squad, have been able to change their players. So you see the teams they've changed in many games. So they're able to change, and they have done. So it may be a help, or it may be a hindrance. We're not sure what the outcome will be. The result will help, maybe give you an idea. But I think for all football clubs, whether in Italy or in England, the season has been really long due to the World Cup, due to lots of games getting pushed in. So it's been a long season for all teams.
Le volevo chiedere se pensava che il fatto che la Fiorentina appunto stia ancora giocando nel campionato e invece il West Ham ha finito ormai dai 10 giorni, se pensa che questo sia un vantaggio o anche magari uno svantaggio per le squadre. Non penso sia particolarmente un vantaggio o uno svantaggio. La Fiorentina ovviamente ha una rosa molto ampia, quindi hanno cambiato diversi giocatori, quindi non credo sia un problema. E comunque per tutte le squadre, anche nella Premier League, è stata una stagione molto dura, anche per la Coppa del Mondo ovviamente, quindi con tante partite, quindi direi che tutto verrà combattuto sul campo e speriamo che sia una bellissima partita.
Gary?
Hi David.
Hi Gary.
Hi. You probably answered this question anyway in a previous answer to my colleague when you said long may it continue, but after a difficult season, Thursday, Sunday, a lot of pressure on yourself at times. If you were to be on an open top bus with a European trophy, would there be any way at all you would consider to walk away with your head held high?
No, the only focus I've got at the moment is to try and play the game, win the game, perform as well as we possibly can. So I'm certainly not thinking any further ahead than that. We've still got a few days until the game, so just preparing the players, getting things ready, and thoughts are no further than that.
Il fatto che avete avuto una stagione molto difficile, appunto con tante partite giovedì e la domenica ovviamente per le competizioni europee, pensi che questo sia stato difficile? Pensi già alla vittoria, magari quando andrete sull'autobus per Londra a festeggiare? No, guarda, al momento io mi concentro solamente sulla partita, sul compito che abbiamo di vincere, e questo è l'unico focus che abbiamo, quindi la battaglia sarà sul campo.
Emma?
David, hi. It's been a tough season for you domestically, and it's probably led to a difficult relationship sometimes between you and the fans. I just wonder what your message is to the fans ahead of Wednesday, and especially to those thousands who unfortunately won't be able to be in the ground because so few supporters are able to get tickets.
Well, I think that I agree with lots of that what you said, but I think in the main the supporters have been unbelievable here, been really supportive of me and the team, and I think, as I said before, we've had 2 very good years, 6th and 7th in the Premier League, now a semi-final and now a final of a competition, so you'd have to go a long way back in West Ham's history to see where that's been sort of matched. So I feel sorry that we can't have more people in the stadium. I think I watched Fiorentina into Milan last week. Fiorentina had an incredible support, and I think we would have had an incredible support. So I hope in the future that maybe the stadiums could be bigger to host it, but I understand that, for different reasons, maybe we're in a slightly smaller stadium. But I have to say that it shows you how serious all the teams in the Conference League are taking this competition, and the support what we would have had, what Fiorentina would have had, I'm sure could have been much greater if it had been a bigger stadium. So I hope that the supporters get a nice bar and a place where they can sit and watch the game and hopefully enjoy.
stata una stagione difficile nella Premier League, non avete fatto benissimo, quindi insomma i vostri supporter magari non sono stati felicissimi di questo. Ma noi siamo comunque arrivati per 2 anni in sesti e settimi nella Premier League, abbiamo avuto l'anno scorso una semifinale, quest'anno una finale nella competizione europea, quindi sicuramente i nostri tifosi sono veramente felici di questo, sono super contenti, il supporto è stato enorme. Sono ovviamente non felice del fatto che non siamo riusciti ad avere più biglietti per i nostri tifosi. Ho visto la partita Fiorentina-Milan l'altra settimana e il supporto per la Fiorentina è stato gigantesco, molto grande, quindi avrei sperato che anche i nostri tifosi avrebbero potuto insomma venire così numerosi. Però insomma spero che riusciranno magari ad andare in un pub, in un bar locale per godersi la partita.
Hello, Mr. Moyes, Sky Italia here. It looks like there's like a new wave of Italian managers. We've all been used to see defensive managers, but now we've seen in the Premier League with Roberto De Zerbi, and Vincenzo Italiano is stealing the show in Italy as well. So are you guys all aware of how the Italian managers are like changing their view and bringing something new to football? Like Italiano is doing very well, playing attacking and attractive football as well. So what do you think of him and the football that Fiorentina play? Thank you.
I think there's a lot of really good young managers out there. It's great to watch. I've been around a long time now, and they're all challenging us. But longevity, being in the game for a long time, coming in and doing it in a short period is not saying easy, but easier. You have to be able to do it for a long period. But I agree, there's some very, very good young managers out there just now, some very good coaches. Football's been around for a long time. It won't change too greatly. Italian football has its own DNA, but also the Italian national team just over a year or two ago won the Euros. So Italian football I think has been very positive. They'll get teams in all the finals this year. So it says a lot about Italian football this season that there's a lot of the teams maybe changing, as you rightly say, but I think they have good players, the Italian teams, and always have done.
Cosa ne pensa di questi nuovi, diciamo questa nuova wave di allenatori italiani che quindi non fanno più tradizionalmente questo gioco difensivo, ma sono molto più insomma, all'attacco con un gioco più progressivo? Sì, sicuramente il calcio italiano sta cambiando, però diciamo che nel DNA del calcio italiano c'è sempre quel tipo di gioco. Ci sono tanti nuovi allenatori che stanno rendendo appunto il calcio più eccitante e che ci mettono diciamo in difficoltà noi allenatori un po' più anzianotti. Comunque l'Italia è sempre molto forte, basta pensare appunto alla vittoria dell'Euro un paio d'anni fa, ma comunque insomma noi siamo concentrati su questa partita e ci batteremo per vincere.
We've talked about Jose Mourinho's tears after the Conference League final last year, and you know he's a very emotional manager, and he's now being criticised for his behaviour after the Europa League final the other night. Is it important for you guys to keep a lid on your emotions, or easier said than done?
Yeah, I think we've hopefully learnt some lessons from our journey last year. We got to the semi-final, we found it difficult. We got a player sent off, and probably we all lost our emotions, were the way the game went. So hopefully we've learnt a little bit from that. But ultimately, football is about emotions, and people want to see managers showing their commitment, their energy to the team as well. Jose Mourinho is a serial winner, and is proved to be that. And I have to say, hopefully we're able to keep our emotions in check. But overall, getting to the final means that we hope that we can perform well and show everything we can do.
Parlando di José Mourinho, diciamo è molto appassionato, molto emozionale, quindi per esempio con la partita della Roma abbiamo visto come si sia un po' adirato e insomma ha avuto problemi con l'arbitro. Sì, è sempre difficile tenere, diciamo, sotto controllo le emozioni, anche da parte mia, insomma, sono stato espulso in passato in qualche partita, quindi ovviamente la posta in gioco è molto alta, quindi il calcio comunque è insomma, uno sport molto emotivo, molto emozionale, quindi sarà difficile tenere le emozioni a bada, ma ci concentreremo al massimo per arrivare al traguardo finale.
Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Antoine, ITV News. Your generation of players have a chance to mirror a legendary generation of West Ham players, Moore, Hurst, Peters. If you're able to be successful in that conference final, would you like to see your group of boys one day honoured with a statue outside the London Stadium? And in terms of that stadium itself, obviously you moved there to give a better chance to bring trophies back to this group of players and of course the fans that support them. How important is it for that promise to be honoured and for you to bring those trophies to the London Stadium now?
Well, hopefully, everybody will look back and say, what was said has been in some ways delivered. I don't know if we'll ever get a statue, because we're talking about 3 English legends as well as West Ham legends because of what they've done for England in the World Cup. But I do believe that the players have got a great opportunity to be remembered by everybody at this club. There's a new generation of young supporters developing in the East End of London. Lots of young West Ham supporters. The club have moved to a 65,000 seater stadium now, which most weeks is full in the Premier League, and it just shows you the depth that the feeling there is for West Ham in this certainly this part of London. So if we can give those young supporters something to believe that their club can reach finals, win finals, then I think it would be nothing but positive. And I do believe the players we've got will give ourselves every chance of doing so. We have a really good group of players. We have strong international players. We have players who are hungry to succeed. So I'm hoping that we can show that on Wednesday night.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Pensate che riuscirete appunto ad eguagliare, associarvi ai nomi famosi del West Ham nel passato e magari avere una statua dedicata a voi fuori dallo stadio? Ma sicuramente non so se riusciremo a fare questo, la statua magari è una cosa un po' troppo ambiziosa, però faremo del nostro meglio. Abbiamo tantissimi giocatori molto assolutamente talentuosi a livello nazionale, che giocano appunto nella nazionale inglese, e abbiamo tanti tifosi anche giovani che sono assolutamente orgogliosi della nostra squadra, e quindi continueremo a lavorare a questo. Ci siamo anche spostati ad uno stadio molto più grande, quindi abbiamo la possibilità di far arrivare più tifosi anche giovani, quindi lavoreremo al meglio e cercheremo di raggiungere questo risultato finale per renderli orgogliosi della nostra squadra.
David, once again, you're being linked with the Celtic manager's job. Does your experience allow you to blank that kind of thing out?
I've never even considered it. I'm West Ham manager and I'm really enjoying my period here, and the club have been so good to me, and we've enjoyed the journey we're on here. I'm hopefully trying to continue growing a really good football club, and I've not really taken any consideration, but through my years I've been linked with lots of jobs at different times in my career, but I've got to say I'm really happy at the moment and settled where I am.
Ci sono appunto voci che ti collegano un po' all'allenatore del Celtic, magari tornare appunto a essere in quella posizione del Celtic, ma io non ho, per ora mi concentro sul mio lavoro qui a West Ham, sono felicissimo qua, stiamo avendo una performance veramente positiva, quindi la dirigenza sono stati mi hanno dato moltissimo supporto, quindi per ora rimango qui e sono contento.
Last couple now then, please, Charlie.
Hi David, at the back here. If you can see me right at the
Yeah,
back.
got you up, yeah.
You took your players to Portugal, and we saw some photos and videos doing the rounds on social media. Some players playing golf, enjoying the sunshine, and even a few players on a water raft ride at a water park saying old side Ben Rama. I just wanted to ask you, was it important for you to take them out to do some warm weather training, and it also important to cool down from all this pressure with the final building up?
Well, one of the first questions we got was, we've got 10 days till we play the game. So I think it was more important that we got away from the training ground here for a few days. New environment, gave us a chance to have a bit of time together. I'm a big believer in having a great team spirit and behind the scenes, and we've certainly got that, and you know, we won't be found wanting for that if it comes along. So yeah, it was great. Some of the boys had a bit of time in the water, some of the game of golf, but overall we had a couple of days where we could change the scenery a little bit and just give them a little bit of change.
Abbiamo visto sui social media che siete andati ad Algarve, in Portogallo, per appunto un po' di allenamento, anche per insomma svagarvi un pochino. Abbiamo visto giocatori giocare a golf, chi insomma chi andare nell'acqua park, eccetera eccetera. Quindi questo è stato importante per voi. Sì, sicuramente abbiamo fatto questo perché ovviamente erano già 10 giorni che non giocavamo più per la fine della Premier League, quindi è stato importante per noi cambiare un po' aria, diciamo allontanarci un po' dalle pressioni locali, e anche credo molto nello spirito di squadra, quindi è stato importante per noi essere insieme, e alcuni giocatori si sono svagati in diversi modi, comunque questo ci ha sicuramente caricato e preparato per la finale.
John T.
Hi David.
Hi there.
Hi. Following on from Kieran's question, you mentioned in the latter rounds of Europe last year you had a couple of red cards, and obviously the emotion can sometimes take over. One thing you've had all season, you haven't had a red card. I think you're lowest in the league for yellow cards as well. The discipline you've shown as a whole, how important is having sort of a full year of that to take into such a big occasion like this?
Yeah, well, you always want to be well disciplined in the finals, and in any games you want to be well disciplined. But yeah, I didn't know that start, so it's something which obviously is a good start. We hope that that's the way it remains, and you also hope that the referees are looking at that as well and saying that, you know, well disciplined side going about the job correctly, and they're doing their homework as well.
Dopo appunto quell'espulsione che hai avuto l'anno scorso, quest'anno le statistiche ti danno ragione, in quanto non hai avuto nessun cartellino rosso, e anche come squadra avete avuto il numero più basso di ammonizioni, di cartellini gialli. Non sapevo di questa statistica, comunque è sicuramente una cosa positiva. Siamo contenti che stiamo mostrando maggiore disciplina in campo, seguendo le regole e controllando le nostre emozioni. Ovviamente speriamo che l'arbitro insomma farà un ottimo lavoro e non prenderà decisioni sbagliate, così che insomma potremo controllare meglio le nostre emozioni e arrivare insomma al risultato che aspiriamo tutti.
Okay, and last one, Jordan.
Hi David.
Hi Phil.
It's been a while since your last major final. When you look back, how did you prepare for that mentally? How did you get ready? How did you get the squad ready? And have you tried anything new and fresh this time around?
Well, you're right when you say it's a long time since a final, but it's in football. You know, there's more managers who don't get to finals than there is who do. So, getting to them, you should appreciate and respect every one you get. Everyone will be different. You know, say for example, a British final could be different in preparation to a European final. So this is the first time we've done a European final, and it feels special. It feels a really big occasion. It feels like it's something which we want to, make sure that we've covered everything, and hopefully go into the game in the best condition we possibly can be. So I don't think we're necessarily doing anything different or anything more than we've done before, because this is near enough the first one we've done. But I do feel that our experience in the semi-final last year, I hope, will give us a little bit of indication of what to expect. And overall, I think the players are in a really good place. I think the players are getting ready, but mentally I see them in a good place, and I hope that proves to be the case.